Hello and welcome to the channel. It's the Eradicator, and well, Happy New Year if you're watching this video after the countdown. If not, this is the last video of 2022. And as a farewell to this year, we have been given a final letter from the chairman on RobertsSpaceIndustries.com. Chris Roberts wrote to us and gave us a very lengthy summary of what happened in 2022. I am not going to go over that. We all know how 2022 went for Star Citizen. A pretty good year indeed, with persistent entity streaming, lots of new ships, and some really good financial results. And with his letter also came the financial results for 2021. And that's very important, guys, because of course we want to see how much of a healthy company Cloud Imperial Games is. And in 2020, they actually scored a profit. This was the first time in a long time that they had a profit. They had a profit in 2012, 2013, 2014, and then they lost money in 2015, 16, 17, 18, and 19, with back being in the green in 2020. Cloud Imperial Games won $7,300,000, and in 2021, Cloud Imperial Games made a profit of $349,000. Now, yes, it is much less than in 2020, but at the same time, it's interesting to have also a look at how many people were working at Cloud Imperial Games by the end of 2021 compared to 2020. At the end of 2020, they had 695 employees. By the end of 2021, 748 employees. Not just that, but the salaries had also considerably, the money spent on salary had also increased to, an increase of the salaries from 42.950 million all the way to 51.183 million. So yeah, quite a significant increase indeed. But I think that the biggest increase was actually marketing, which increased from 15.37 million all the way to 25.48 million. I really wonder how they, since we didn't have a digital citizen, we didn't have a physical CitizenCon, we had a digital CitizenCon. I really wonder how marketing improved. Maybe they had some advertising, or they paid some companies for future advertisement of the game. I don't know. But if you guys have any idea of how Cloud Imperial Games spend their money in the marketing, well, let me know in the comment section down below. Anyway, following that, we had, again, as I said, a very lengthy post, but next we had two long segments about looking forward, the road to Alpha 4.0, which is a follow-up to the previous letter from the Sherman that we had earlier this year. And so here Cloud Imperial Games is giving us basically an idea of what's coming up next for persistence entity streaming. And apparently in the future we will be able to join the shard that we would like to join in. Actually, right now it's possible to know which shard we are in. If we go into the console, we can have some information about the servers, and it tells us also the shard number. So you can, for example, log out and log in again until you finally get back into your shard. But as of right now, matchmaking already tries to put us back in the previous shard where we were before. So that's already something. But in the future, we'll be able to actually select the precise shard so that we can maybe join some friends exactly the way we want without being in their party, for example. Next, we are also going to get the separate replication layer, or RL, which is basically an improvement of the in-memory cache, which remembers all of the dynamic object state from game servers, and also have scalable replication layers, workers that communicate the changes between the various game clients, servers, and real life. So this is basically going to duplicate information from one server to another. And that's very important. For example, let's say a server dies, get a 30K error, a brand new server will be coming up, and it will be replicating all the information from that dead server into the brand new server. And it's basically going to cancel some of the biggest annoyances that we're having with 30K errors. And it's also going to be one of the very first basics here for server meshing to be able to work. So very important indeed. Also, the very first version of server meshing will be static server meshing here, which is going to have different servers that are going to be assigned to simulate different entity zones in the star system. So one server will be a planet, and another server will be a planet, and another server will be a Lagrange point, for example. And it's basically going to also significantly reduce the amount of workload per server. Performance is going to significantly improve, especially that's going to be very clear when we're going to be interacting with NPCs, which are pretty much useless right now because they all depend on server performance. Also, following that, we'll be moving to dynamic server meshing v1 here, which is going to assign server dynamically to entity zones based on gameplay and simulation load. This will be much more efficient, and also it's going to be using the cloud according to the needs of the game. So for example, we are going to only have servers where players are, and we're not going to have servers if, let's say, somebody goes to Cruel 5, for example, but no one is going there. There are not going to be any servers that are going to be covering that, right? Versus static server meshing right now, which is going to have servers assigned to zones even if there are no players there. And I think that that's going to save Clan Imperium some money because those servers are going to be expensive on the very long term, right? And finally, there's going to be server meshing v2 here, which will take the dynamic assignment of servers one step further by subdividing entity zones into simulation islands. And basically, that's going to be organizing the dynamic objects in the zone or local grids into different groups based on which object can interact or collide with each other. And this is going to allow these islands to be redistributed between servers to help balance simulation load. So their plan here is to have tens of thousands of players playing in the same persistent entity streaming universe shard. So that's going to be a lot of players playing together. This is something that we should be expecting to see, right, in the future. Already, right, with the improvement of player capacity from 50 to 100 players, we can already see more people, but the aim is to have thousands of, actually tens of thousands of players. That's what Chris Roberts is saying here. So you can only imagine here all the traffic jams that we're going to be seeing when we're going to line at landing zones, but also potentially some of the huge battles that are also going to be happening. Let's say for Jumptown, for example, right? It's going to be a carnage. And this is also why once they have server meshing, they are going to open the universe to other star systems, starting with Paro and then Nyx. And I think that once they have server meshing, if they want to have tens of thousands of players in the same shard, it's going to be very important to make an effort to spread out that player base so that not everybody is at the same place and that locations are saturated, because they are going to be quite limited. Right now, they're not limited because we are stuck between 50 to 100 players per server, but in the future, if we have 10,000 players in one shard, it's gonna feel very cramped, as we are going to experience perhaps, right? So anyway, next, when are we going to have server meshing? According to Chris Roberts, well, this is not news if you've been following the channel. This is something that I've been talking about already a couple of weeks ago. Something that was said during the Bar Citizen in Singapore. And it was confirmed here that they are going to try to give it to us by the fourth quarter of 2023. So right after SeasonCon, probably there's going to be a demo for SeasonCon, and then they are going to be giving it to us before Christmas of 2023. Will it be live or will it be PTU as it is right now for persistent entity streaming? Well, that remains to be seen. As they are saying here, the big caveat is that this is going to involve some complicated engineering work that involves a completely new paradigm, as it says, with a whole lot of new backend services and technology, and therefore it is hard to estimate and schedule accurately, as issues and problems can come up along the way and they're really hard to foresee, right? Anyway, guys, that is all for today. Exciting news here by the end of this year, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what 2023 is going to bring for Star Citizen. Thank you so much for watching once again, guys. It's been the Eradicator. As always, a big shout out to my Patreons and YouTube members, including Dr. Forbin, Zio Crusher, and Wolf by Pug. I will see you guys later.